My name is Alan Reed. I'm a volunteer at the Taneytown History Museum, and I'm here with Mr. Fern Haines, also a volunteer at the History Museum. Today is Saturday, March 23rd, 2019, and we're going to discuss a lot of things about days of yesteryear, things that Mr. Haines remembers. He's 93 years old, and I know he has a lot to talk about from the past. So I will start out with a few things that I know we already discussed, Fern, and that we have here. At our last meeting, we'll start off with, let's start off with the Taneytown Fairgrounds. What you knew about how the track used to be out there and the buildings and things like that.
Correct. Well, one of the last ones was there. It was 1946. I had equipment there myself, which was two corn pickers. They was during the end of the war. They were scarce again. They was sent through in a dad's name, my name, to help out people, and I went as far as out around Westminster, even up them farmers down there. One place I remember that I picked corn on down in Balkan Valley was they called it the Pumpkin Farm. That was during the war. They found out Pumpkin had documents in of the war, hidden documents, and but I picked corn in that. But also it was in when they had the last fair in there. It was there with a lot of people. There was something new out.
So Fern, when did the fair like kind of stop? What year do you remember that?
It's right here. I have it.
The fairs.
How'd you it's that right there? It's got the
This
year and everything in it.
this thing.
Right here. I had to show a picture of the main building right out front along the road, the stanch or something. There's one, that was it or something.
Okay. You want to look at the entrance?
I was there many years. That was it.
And that was the last building standing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, when they come to that state road, I remember when the racetrack was there. But my dad's brother rode in races out there, but then towards the last, they had some car races there. The last 3 years that it was here, they had car races there. Then wound up some buildings burnt down that shouldn't have burnt, but anyhow, as a fireman, I was there too.
And what years was that, Fern?
When they burnt down,
Well, that or the races, when, like you said, the horse races, the years that the races went on, or even when it turned over to the car races.
well,
Is there a time
the last
frame?
fair was there, well, like I say, I had put there at 46. The races came in, I think around 48, 49,
49.
right in there. Then I was getting towards the end of it. And then it was in the early 50s when some of the buildings, one of the big ones broke down.
Okay, so let's move on to, let's talk about the, that V-blade snow
V-blade?
thing you were telling us about.
I'm just sorry I didn't have the pictures here. I had helped out neighbors. Up at Thermont, where I dealt up there with the blacksmiths up there. You couldn't buy them. That was during the war. And he built a big, made it itself, and very big, very good. And I put on a tractor, and I helped out a lot of people. In 1966, Taneytown was closed. I mean, the state pulled off their equipment to break it down. When I started, I wanted to go into the railroad track to pick up some feed that came in a railroad car. We had feed shipped in a railroad car. That's the way we used to do it with eastern states. But I ended up by a farm church and cleared down through town that no one would say would go through. And I plowed the whole way down through there and back out, opened the town up. And before the farmers used to be in the old building where City Hall is now. And then I opened up enough they could get equipment out if they had to.
And what year was that?
1966.
1966.
And I've done the neighbors over there. I got pictures where the snow was as deep as the tractor, but there was drifts and stuff like that. But we haven't seen like I'd like to, but that's the way it was then. But
And, don't mean to interrupt you. And in our last meeting, one of the things that intrigued me was this story you told about buying a 1946 Plymouth, the car garage that happened to be there in Taneytown, and that, whatever year that may have been.
We have a good picture of that garage here, and we looked here a couple of days. I know I have it now. Santa Cruz was out the other day. The museum does have a picture of it. And following him, he was getting up in age running. They call him Hockey. And I was a young fellow, but I still looked after him. He liked to go up the Hagerstown Fair they had up there, and went to see the girl shows up there.
No.
Just a regular fair, you know what I mean? And I called him up, and I did that 2 years. And I knew.
Now, what year, and again, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'd kind of like to stay on track with, what year was that, and who was the garage that you bought that car from? And you had told us in our previous, discussion, that it was after World War II.
It was only the, what I got was only the second car came to town. The first car, that was
See, I'm so used to that.
a company.
Hear it.
And
Now I'm doing that
Clyde, I forget what his name, Clyde Hess, I guess. He was president of the company. And he got the first one. And Hoggy said I got the second one. But people had to put names on the list,
Right.
you know, when these cars started coming in. And then my dad, he wanted to get on for his name on. It was 2 years before he got one. But Hoggy just did that for me.
Okay, and you said that was in 1946.
1946, it was $1,200 on the road, $4 full-size car.
Yeah, well, those days are gone.
Yes, they are. I pay that much in sales tax now.
Wish they were still here, but they're not. All right, another thing that kind of caught me was talking about this airport across the street from your house. Something about, you told us some things about something called Hellcats.
Okay. All right, there was a Hellcat lander. That's a very powerful plane. It's what the United States uses bombers, fighter plane, the Hellcat. All my name and all. Fern was also principal of the elementary school back in the 30s. And this was his son, came home to see him. He landed over here, which it was a very small airport to land a plane that size, but he did. And I went up and put fuel in it. It was on a Sunday. after church, and all, a lot of people was there. And like I say, Mr. Old Man Dahl was a preacher, and the Reverend Dahl. And when he took off, well, he had trouble getting it started. The way they did it was like gun shells, or the great big ones, they shoot them in the tank, and that way the pressure to start the engine. He had little problems, and he finally got it started. But when he come down, he come this way towards the road, and when he raised it, got close to everyone, he just like he put it went straight up. My, that was loud.
Now, what year did this take place, Fern? Do you remember?
Yes. Very. I had to be 45.
1945.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
So,
war wasn't quite over yet.
yeah. Well, this is what we're looking for back in
It
the early
wasn't quite
days.
over yet, but I know there's a lot of people over there, but I mean, have something to see, and
Sure. That would be a lot to see in those days, something
Yes, it
like that
was.
coming to Taneytown area. Okay, tell us a little bit about the fire department. You say you joined in 1956?
yes, I joined Arnie. That was before they even had a fire truck. I had one on order, and I was in. Well, we had what we raised. They raised money was they had turkey orchards up for 1 month in the fall year, and to raise money, which they done very good. And my dad and I purchased the turkeys, which we raised turkeys and slaughtered them. I'd take them up there and deliver them in different houses around the members, and they'd roast them, then bring them into the fire hall when they had their banquet, whatever. That's where they raised money. They did very good, which I was in charge of a couple of years. I remember one year it was 11 buses come up out of Balmer, usually elder people out of Balmer City.
And this was a fire department supper.
That's how they got started with money. And then the latter part of 56, we got the first engine in.
And what year was that?
And 50, later part of 56.
Last part of 56.
Yeah, and got the first engine in, and then I think it was, I was chief then in 52. I went as chief. I was in for 10 years. Those people treated me wonderful up there. But while I was, my 10 years in there, well, I was also president before that. Bigger main thing was money. I know we had a big feed up there. We burnt the mortgage. We got out of debt and burnt the mortgage.
Did that have anything to do with this thing you was telling us about Chris Kingling? What was Chris Kingling you were talking about? What was that?
Chris Kingling is when it's Christmas time, you dress up and go from house to house and you see if you can guess who it is. And they always have something to drink and something to eat. And, you know, you party a little bit in a while and you move one another, but they call that Chris Kingling.
And what year was this? What years was it?
I'll put it this way, I can remember maybe I was only 10 years old
Wow.
to it. And so that's,
That's a lot of years
that's
ago.
back in the middle 30s that I know of it. And of course they did it before that. But that was the thing of the day then.
Well, this is the kind of thing we like to know what kind of went on around, you know, in that
But
time frame.
that was a big thing at Christmas time, doing that. We go to house, and it was different then than it is now.
Okay, now, what can you tell us about this moving buildings around Taneytown? And
Well, I don't know, I was friends with Kraus down here at Kingsdale. He was a big mover for the state and a couple different states. But his son, who was younger than me, we got to be friends for some reason or other. I got in with him, and in 1966 I got the farm in Baptist Road and the house. Just here, just recently, I had pictures of it and everything. There might be out in the trunk, but he come up. I wanted to move the house, bring it out towards the hard road, which was already well out there. And so he moved it, dug the foundation, hauled the blocks in. They laid all the blocks underneath the house, moved the house, new location. And he dug the foundation and laid the blocks all for $800 going by.
And what year was that?
In 1960.
In 60.
And the first person moved in was a state trooper. Imagine you remembered him, Bob Ellis.
Oh yeah, I remember Bob
He
very
was,
well.
I was like part of the family, but he was a state trooper. He had
Yeah.
canine dogs. He was outstanding around town here, and but they had a lot of fun. He was there too. He got shot down here in front of the state police barrack, but he was there at least 11, 12 years.
And that was in the 60s also.
Yeah. Yes, and he was a good man.
What about the Rainbow Roller Rink down there?
Rainbow Butter Man. That was I went there a lot, across the quarter. I went there a great deal, because I could work that. A lot of us did. You take Jean Harmon, Jean Brown, she is now, she married Keith Brown, and there was a bunch of us. There was a lot of people from Westminster come up. But it was a pretty good crowd, and the drivers, they run it, and they were very strict. There was you never seen things like you hear today in monkey business or anything like that, but they were very strict. They had a man from Frederick. I had a nickname for him, but he played the organ. Actually, it was there, right there, off to the side there, and he played the organ music. It was very good, but there was no recording. He was there in person. That went on for quite a few years.
Now, what years are you talking about? I mean, is that in the 30s and early 40s or the 50s?
Let's see. I got to tell you the whole thing right in here. I was in the 30s and 40s. I reckon about 46, 45 or 6. I stopped going, I met her.
Okay, let's move on a little bit. How about the blacksmith shop that was in Taneytown on Fern Haines? What years was that?
That was back in the early 30s, up through all the 30s. It was where Doc Bennett's office is, on back the alley, right on that curve. It's still standing yet today. And
I know the building you're talking about, yeah.
yes, sir. I tell you, they done a lot of business. A lot of farmers went in there, but they had to fix anything. They always had fireplace. Well, it was a place where they eat iron, but when they come in the morning, they make fire and keep it going, and they try to blow on and bring it up fast. But they did a lot of work for farmers.
Okay, we'll keep moving along here a little bit. What about the Taneytown movie theater used to be on the corner there?
What is it?
The Taneytown movie theater, the theater
yeah.
used to be on the corner.
Well, that was another place when I was a kid, you could afford them. I know I used to go in and used to work a fair over here. Yeah, he used to go a lot. Of course, his son too. Him and his son, but I mean, he's putting off on a Saturday night to go, and we brought our bicycles in, and the fair board lived over here, and the Vaughn boys, they was around my little one, younger than me. We got in, go to the movies.
So
Cheap entertainment for a quarter.
how long did that movie theater stay there? Do you know? Remember?
I got it all right here.
Just take your time. That was on the corner of York Street and West Palmer Street.
Kenny Clem run it, and I think in 1954 was
Was the
the
last
last
year?
year.
Okay, so it was there in the 40s and 50s.
Oh yeah, all, a lot of in the 30s, and I know they said he used to go to Washington. They told me to go to Washington to pick up film once a month, you know, bring up. And then he run the theater down here at Biloxi. You remember that? Drive-in?
Yep, I remember that, sure.
Right here.
Bells used to be on the other side of the road.
That was in 1952 that he run this down here to drive-in.
No, that's good, that's good. Well, let's see what we got on here. What can you tell us about the Grain and Supply buildings in Taneytown?
Grain Supply building was run by Norman Bugwonder, and then his son-in-law in there too, later years. We did a lot of business there, my dad did. It was a stockholder company, which my dad had stock in it, and I did too in the later years of it. They done a lot of business. They bought wheat and they shipped out wheat. It was most everything was a railroad car. A lot of people worked there that I knew very well, even my uncle. But they done a lot of business there.
Now, there was two mills, two grain,
There's
one on
another
one side of the
grain
track, one on the other.
Ron Dollars was on the other side. This is something I'll remember. Up on the second floor, they had 3 flour mills. And that was, to me, it was something to see.
What was it?
Flour mills, they made flour.
Oh, flour
They had
mills,
3
okay,
of them there,
okay,
up on
gotcha,
the
yeah,
second floor.
yeah.
And they made flour there, and I can remember they put it in brown paper bags, bags of flour.
I'll bet the ladies around Taneytown like that for baking
Well,
or whatever.
Of course, that isn't where my mother used to go when I was a little kid. That used to be out Naylor's Mill Road, out close to Keybar. Back in there, that was a mill, stone mill. There they made flour. I remember we lived in Keysville on the farm. My mother, they put a couple of bags of wheat and changed it for a bag of flour. That's the way they used to do them days.
Yeah, there was a lot of trading off in those days, yeah.
But they in here, the Rod Dollar Company, they ran flour. They also bought wheat and corn, and they ground a lot of feed.
Right.
There's an awful lot of feed ground there, which that was better going there now. Just this morning, we had to go westward to get feed ground for the cattle down here,
Right.
Bowman's.
Yeah.
But this was very handy when we had to trade
Sure,
them.
sure.
But
Well, how about the cannon factories used to be around
and
Taneytown?
factories was, well, I raised sweet corn, my dad and I raised sweet corn. There was John Chandler's, old Baxter Chandler's. He run the one that had to go out towards Littlestown there. And, I remember my sister worked in there, her job was cans, these little cans you put corn in, come in a rotary car and they'd unload them. They come in for season and then store them, but they had them all by hand work. But I hauled them and they load in there, and of sweet corn, we raised a lot of sweet corn. And then the other one was up there, you know where that was, Ross Avenue.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as big as some, but they did a lot of tomatoes and that more than so than anything else.
So how many canning factories was in Taneytown back in the day?
There was only 2 in Taneytown, 1 in Kemar, and then many years ago, there was 1 in Detour.
Okay.
That was back before my time, but I remember telling you.
Before your time.
Yeah.
That's awful early.
You know where the country kitchen is now? There used to be Hook farm machinery place. I can hardly believe it. I go in there every morning and get coffee, cut the kitchen. But that was full parts for machinery and stuff like that. That was more or less the office there. Then behind it was farm machinery.
Yeah, I saw those pictures when
And,
I was there.
I bought quite a bit of stuff out of my dad and I out of there. And Oak Harbor was all running. And a lot of that was during the war too.
How about the old dairy out back behind there?
The old
What
dairy,
was
I
the
can
story
remember.
on that?
Take milk in there. In my earlier days, when I was a kid, I rode with my mother. We hauled into Detour to that dairy, and then we got here. That's back when we had the cans yet.
Right.
And then later years, we changed over to the tanks, and everyone did too, and done away with the milk cans. But myself, I picked up cans ready to hold into the one in Westminster. But no, there was a lot of canned milk in there.
Well, let's touch on the old railroad station.
Railroad station.
When trains used to go through Taneytown. What
I can
time
tell-
period
I
was
can
that?
tell you, I can remember when the steam engine coming to Taneytown, passenger train. In 1939, they started at Frederick, and they picked up the Kemar, and then they picked up Taneytown. In 1939, went to the World's Fair. And there was something on there. I remember a lot of them around Taneytown, there's a lot of people got on Taneytown. And my dad and I went to the World Fair, and the following week, they did it again, and I went the second time with my mother.
That's cool.
Yes, it was that.
Where was the World's Fair then?
Well, I can remember this, we got on, it was a steam engine in town. It was a little rough riding. We got up here towards Delaware, and then they changed over to electric. And then we got into New York. Then they got, well, that was still electric, but it was more modern and real fast.
Right.
I forget what streets it's going to, but it was, I remember it, but like I say, I was there twice. That was really something to see. And while I was lucky to get to go, you know, twice. Of course, the thing of it is, was my dad and I went, and the following week, I remember what to go see, and I knew the way around pretty well to show my mother. And
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
well, I was pretty fortunate there, and that's something to remember by. The way it is, it's new train, we went down through Hanover and
Yeah.
going up.
When did they stop that passenger service? Do you remember?
I would say, during the end of World War II,
World War II.
yeah. Well, the trains was used, not the passenger. I think it was getting of World War II they stopped that. But
How about, is there any other interesting things about any other companies or any other plants or anything else around Taneytown that comes to mind back in those days?
Well, it's hard to believe Taneytown, the way it used to be. I guess you all knew where Gene Brown and Liz,
Yeah,
well, and where Hillbrow was.
yeah.
That whole area in there from Baumgartner up to there, and back to Roberts Mill, where I parked that. And that's where I raised a lot of sweet corn. The first house was there, was built with Keith Brown, and that's there yet today. It's hard to believe of
Well,
that
actually,
it's all those houses there today.
Fern, I lived at 440 something. It was one of Deli Baumgartner's houses.
Yeah, I don't know.
In the brick one on his side where he lived right next to him. But I remember the cornfields behind there, that whole area back there, they were farming. I guess that was you because you're
Yeah.
telling me you farmed that.
That's,
I remember those things myself, yeah.
but, even when she come in here, we were still in there, wasn't we? Because I knew she drove a truck out, helped out, moving stuff. It's hard to believe, and you're talking about Dolly Bonner, it was his mother owned that. If she's one
Yeah, I
that owned
remember,
it, that's
yeah, I
who we
remember all, yeah, back in
and how all
those
that
days.
come about, my dad and mother and her and her husband, they played the cards together. That's the way people used to go house to house and play cards at night. And they was for them, they traveled together. They even went on some trips together. And that's how we got in farming that.
How about schools? I mean, back in the day when you were going to school around Taneytown, what schools did you go to in town?
Well-
How old were they?
Up at the high school, the one that burnt down, you know what I mean? That should have never happened. That should have been given to the city. That's where I went. I never got to go very much, because I had to stay home working the farm. But that was a good many years ago.
It was a good many.
But I started really out in Keysville, and I think it was only a couple of months, it wasn't even a year, at the Keysville school out there, right into Keysville. And of course, and there's one right down the road here, we got a lot of pictures, that's of the Haines family went there, but that was before my time.
Is that the one on the hill on the
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
going down the hill? Remember
Yeah,
that one?
we got a lot of pictures of that,
Yeah.
yeah. But, there's something I just never remembered, that's one of the fire trucks was driving when
I don't recognize the place or.
no, you won't, 'cause that's Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Went down there with the.
We're not going to Baltimore.
When the put came to Baltimore, I forget, this is a good many years ago, I drove an engine down, we was assigned different ones to take care of part of Baltimore when the Pope found that was crowded, cause they, and I was driving that engine down there, and was there, and I met the Pope.
Wow. See, those things are very
But,
interesting
it was
points.
something I'll never forget, because I'll tell you, that was funny, we was in his truck and where he was coming, he was going in here to a place that, well, they fed the homes and stuff, and I had, that vacation, before we went, you had to go, Secret Service checked you out for your records before you was able to go, for to give you a permit to even be there. Well, I was standing there, when they was coming up through the street, it was real close, and there was a policewoman there, I was speaking to her, and I was getting ready to going off on the side, and she was standing at the middle of the intersection, and she grabbed me in the hand and says, just stand still. Well, I did, and I was in a couple of feet of you, and so that was something I never forgot.
That's why we're talking to you.
And here's something I don't forget. That lady sitting over there, she goes every day and see her pets. She's got about 15, 18 cats.
Oh, we got a lot of cats. Whoops.
She goes down to the farm every day to feed them.
Yeah, a lot of cats. Yeah, farms have a lot of cats.
Yeah, but they're not house cats, they're barn
Yeah.
cats.
Anything else, any questions or anything? Well, we thank you, Fern. That was very
Well,
good.
I'm just sorry I just have more pictures here, or no, I should have.
Well, a lot of-
We got a lot of stuff around here.
you want to check with Nancy in at the museum. There may be a lot of those pictures might be of use to her. Someone displays it sometimes. Because she puts a lot of pictures out.
We get that rubber factory picture over there.
That big one.
Yeah. Bring that out here, which. But I got a lot of remembrance, but you talk about moving buildings. Over here, Roop Road up off that farm, there was a wagon shed, you know. They was big buildings where you drive through and they had quarter cribs on each side. And it was sitting out on the road, and that was when I got that farm back in the early 50s. It was Bud Road over there then. Go taking in and got friends with the county commissioners. I wanted to get a hard road through, but then they said, well, they couldn't do it, the buildings in the road. Well, I had a hired hand, we went and cut a couple of trees down and jacked it up and put it on and got it off to the side and had it for them, put it right road. And like I say, I moved 3 of them and over here at Richard's farm, I loaded one on the same way
What are we going to look at here?
there's the original, an old picture of the rubber factory, but there's some, I had it in the museum, and
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
you do?
Yep.
Well, I can tell you what George Naylor did. He took it out of the museum and took, made a copy off of it.
Yeah.
And someone in there, they come and told me, they said, we didn't tell him to do it, we just did it. And that was given to me many years ago, and I don't know who the person was, but that was original. But like I say, there was copies made off of that.
I'm sure, because like I said, I've seen that picture. All right.
I remember the day that burnt.
We don't have anything else, Fern. We really thank you.
Well, I'm
And,
sorry,
giving your time and talking to us. And,
couldn't had more pictures here and stuff.
well, you did a good job. You did a good job. And look, we thank you.
Well, you know, I still